It's a beautiful world. Now, just like it is in 15, it feels quite similar to playing the fishing in 15, almost like, it sounds daft, but what the VR, would be for the fishing in 15. Different tackles, baits, different rods and lines, put them all together to create the right rods for catching different fish in different locations at different times.
Do they include a VR?
Yeah, I'm definitely considering getting an Oculus Rift, especially with VR starting to become
so anyone who plays
affordable.
Final Fantasy 15's online
And
comrade
with that,
will recognize the character customization. It has incredible customization.
Well,
Best
not
RPG
only
there I've seen
affordable,
in a long
but
time.
at this point, I would hope they have worked out all the
Final
kinks
Fantasy
character customization
with the VR headsets.
You know this. The hair is beautiful.
I'm on the
It
gate
also
of whether or not
features,
if I
some
should
of the
just
characters you'll recognize
if I
from
would
games
get
you
the
already saw
Oculus
Cindy.
Rift or if I would
Now,
just
when I
get the
spoke to
PlayStation VR.
Tabata-san, he told me that the whole team is in it.
For myself, I was considering more than likely getting the Oculus Rift because some of the VR games I've seen on Steam were
like, hey, why don't you come fishing with us? You
looked
can come and camp
very
with
good,
us as well.
awesome.
Character customization here.
Awesome enough for me
I think the
to
biggest
consider
takeaway from
getting
this
one
for
of
me and
these,
the huge
and I know that you
Final
can
Fantasy
use
fan
a
is that
VR
VR game
headset
here puts me
beyond
into the world
Steam,
in a way
so
that
that's
not even Final
more of a
Fantasy
reason for me
14
to
does.
consider getting
It
one of
really
these.
allows you. You're
But
at the camp with the guys. You're able to steal food.
Arizona
off of his plate
Sunshine,
when he'd like try and bat you
that
away.
would be the game that would be one of the reasons why I would get a VR headset.
Like a massive wish fulfillment.
It really was. It gave me something that fanfiction.net has never been able to. It really put me into the world. But it gets better. I'm still allowed to talk about Final Fantasy 15 for more.
There's more.
There is. Final Fantasy 15 Episode Ignis. We know it's on the way. He is best boy. Do not at me. It's not a discussion. But I'm really excited to be able to show a new trailer for that with some new details. And I can also reveal that the guest composer is Yasunori Matsuda of Chrono Trigger, which everyone knows. Final Fantasy and music go hand in hand. So I guess we should just get going. Please enjoy the Final Fantasy 15 Ignis trailer.
Listen well. A king cannot lead by standing still. A king pushes onward always,
Regis.
accepting the consequences and never looking back.
It's a beautiful world. Now, just like it is in 15, it feels quite similar to playing the fishing in 15, almost like, it sounds daft, but what the VR, would be for the fishing in 15. Different tackles, baits, different rods and lines, put them all together to create the right rods for catching different fish in different locations at different times.
Do they include a VR?
Yeah, I'm definitely considering getting an Oculus Rift, especially with VR starting to become
so anyone who plays
affordable.
Final Fantasy 15's online
And
comrade
with that,
will recognize the character customization. It has incredible customization.
well,
Best
not
RPG
only
there I've seen in
affordable,
a long
but
time.
at this point, I would hope they have worked out all the
Final
kinks
Fantasy
character customization
with the VR headsets.
You know this. The hair is beautiful.
I'm on the
It
gate
also
of whether or not
features,
if I
some
should
of the
just if
characters you'll recognize
would
from
get
games you
the
already saw
Oculus
Cindy.
Rift or if I would
Now,
just
when I
get
spoke
the
to
PlayStation
Tabata-san,
VR.
he told me that the whole team is in it.
For myself, I was considering more than likely getting the Oculus Rift because some of the VR games I've seen on Steam were
like, hey, why don't you come fishing with us?
looked.
It's a beautiful world. Now, just like it is in 15, it feels quite similar to playing the fishing in 15, almost like, it sounds daft, but what the VR would be for the fishing in 15. Different tackles, baits, different rods and lines, put them all together to create the right rods for catching different fish in different locations at different times.
Do they include a VR?
Yeah, I'm definitely considering getting an Oculus Rift, especially with VR starting to become
so anyone who plays
affordable.
Final Fantasy 15's online
And
comrade
with that,
will recognize the character customization. It has incredible customation.
well,
Best
not only affordable, but at this point, I would hope they have worked out all the kinks with the VR headsets.
You know this. The hair is beautiful.
I'm on a gate of whether or not if I should just if I would get the Oculus Rift or if I would just get the PlayStation VR.
He told me that the whole team is in it. You know,
for myself, I was considering more than likely getting the Oculus Rift because some of the VR games I've seen on Steam were
like, hey, why don't you come fishing with us? You
look
can come and camp
very
with
good,
us as well.
awesome.
Character customization here.
Awesome enough for me to consider getting one of these, and I know that you can use a VR headset beyond Steam, so that's more of a reason for me to consider getting one of these. But
you're at the camp with the guys, you're able to steal food.
Arizona Sunshine, that would be the game that would be one of the reasons why I would get a VR headset.
Like a massive wish fulfillment.
It really was. It gave me something that fanfiction.net has never been able to. It really put me into the world. But it gets better. I'm still allowed to talk about Final Fantasy 15 for more.
There's more.
There is. Final Fantasy 15 episode Ignis. We know it's on the way. He is best boy. Do not at me. It's not a discussion. But I'm really excited to be able to show a new trailer for that with some new details. And I can also reveal that the guest composer is Yasunori Matsuda of Chrono Trigger, which everyone knows. Final Fantasy and music go hand in hand. So I guess we should just get going. Please enjoy the Final Fantasy 15 Ignis trailer.
Listen well. A king cannot lead by standing still. A king pushes onward always.
Regis.
Accepting the consequences and never looking back.
is proper exciting, and I was, you know, massively hyped for that.
Got to say, for me, it's probably Guacamelee 2. Glad that we can get that out there. It's coming soonish. It looks gorgeous. It's got the 4-player co-op throughout the entire campaign. It's got enhanced chicken mechanics.
Chicken. I mean, the chicken is the highlight of the show, right? That's why everyone's here.
Finger licking good.
Shot.
I hope I don't get in trouble for saying that. That's right. That's right. So hey, we are almost out of time. That big PlayStation Media Showcase is right around the corner, and who's to say what's going to happen then? But we do still have 2 more games that we need to announce. So what do you guys think we should do about that?
I think we should announce them.
Should we?
Yes.
That's actually a good idea.
No,
yeah,
really?
So let's kick it off with the very first game we're going to be announcing, and we'll do that right now. And that was a first look at O-Ray. O-Ray, by the way, is how that's pronounced, if you were wondering. Really just magnificent, gorgeous-looking game, and it's actually coming out a little later today on PlayStation Store.
O-Ray out today.
There you go.
I've been saving that.
I've been saving that.
Looks interesting.
Beautiful. I thought it was incredible to look at. I got real Journey, Abzu-esque vibes.
Can't really
from it.
say this would
totally
be a
my kind of thing.
must-have,
I really
but
believe
it looks
with
interesting.
Gaming, for me personally, I was very AAA only. I never really considered indie. And then I started adding that in, and I feel like I always compare it to having a balanced diet.
Yeah.
And it's like
a balanced gaming diet.
A balanced gaming diet, and these are the kind of games for me that balance it out. So in this particular game, you're exploring the world as a child that can turn into a dragon. You've already seen that in some of the B-roll.
That's an easy sell, isn't it?
I mean, it's really
dragons.
easy to sell. The idea is there are these titans within the world, and they have very important jobs, but for some reason they've stopped doing their job. So you're trying to convince them to basically go back to work by doing, going through the world, solving puzzles, exploring. There are mysteries within the world for you to uncover as well. I think it's beautiful, and I'm so excited that it's actually going to be available, today. You love the look of this.
For some reason, it kind of reminds me of Shadow of Colossus.
Yeah,
I mean,
don't know why.
What you said about Journey and Abzu is, I think, on point.
That's what comes to mind when I
vibes from it.
look at this game.
I think it's just so nice to see games like this as well coming out. And if you're looking at this and you go, I don't play indies, I was the same as you. Please just give one of them a go. Maybe you'll discover a whole new library of games. And what's wrong with that, right?
Nothing wrong with it at all. I mean, that is beautiful. So, hey, that was O-Ray, and I gotta say, I think we had a lot to talk about here tonight. And I want to thank, actually, all the independent developers, all the publishers who worked with us to put this show together. It's an honor for us to be able to debut and your titles and to be able to provide all these meaningful updates and just exciting stuff all around. But I gotta say, that PlayStation Media Showcase is right around the corner. I want to make a shout out though to everyone watching live. We've got a lot more to come after the showcase. If the showcase ends, there's more to come. We're going to dive deeper into all those games that you saw at PlayStation Showcase, all the new stuff you see there. Are you excited, guys? You excited?
Yeah. I mean, massively excited.
Yeah?
That's what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
These moments where we all come together. The audience is already in. You can feel the electricity. I already know from people watching at home as well.
Because we have absolutely no idea.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't know anything.
What we're about
They
to
keep
see.
it under lock and key here.
Yeah.
It could be anything.
It's like a big sporting event. Like, it's the kind of nerves you feel, like, ready to see something epic and amazing.
And
I can't wait.
Who knows? I mean, it's literally a couple of minutes from now.
Really
And we're going to be
is.
cutting to that live here in just a couple of minutes. But first, we do have one other thing we wanted to share with you. Now, this is one I've been dying to talk about all night long, but I've had to restrain myself.
Not yet.
done well.
Sir.
That's
yet.
right.
You could talk about it now. Though.
And just a handful of seconds from now, we're going to talk about and show first details on a brand new game that's from an independent studio, and it's it's a new title from a developer that's actually rather celebrated. So I would suggest that we cut to that now, and for all of you watching at home, enjoy the show.
Samurai. You are a warrior. I can see that. You trained your whole life for this. And you have won battles that lesser men have called unwinnable, yes? But while you were sharpening your sword, do you know how I prepared for today? I learned. I know your language, your traditions, your beliefs, which villages to tame and which to burn. So I'll ask you once again, Samurai, do you surrender?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jim Ryan.
Wow, what a great way to open Paris Games Week. Thank you for joining us tonight. It's now 5 years since we launched PlayStation 4, and I still have the honor to unveil a brand new AAA game, the astonishing Ghost of Tsushima from Sucker Punch. And you know what? That's not the last surprise that you're about to get. You've seen the power of PlayStation 4 provides you not only with immersive storytelling, but also allows developers to fulfill their wildest dreams. The great news is that these developers are now extracting more and more power from the machine with increasingly spectacular results. That's why a single creative mind like Toby Fox can deliver one of the year's biggest hits in Undertale. Why a small studio like Ninja Theory can take you on a thrilling personal journey with AAA production values in Hellblade. And our own worldwide studios can bring alive Horizon Zero Dawn's breathtaking wilderness in dynamic 4K resolution and HDR. Furthermore, you can expect innovative new dimensions in gameplay as we continue to explore the possibilities of virtual reality. The bottom line is that there is so much power and potential packed into PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 4 Pro that innovation will continue to accelerate and proliferate in the coming months and years. With more than 225 games offering graphical enhancements on PlayStation 4 Pro and more than 100 games compatible with PlayStation VR, PlayStation is already the best place to play. As we will show you tonight, it's thrilling to think there's even more to come. While we continue to focus on bringing you the games you love, we're also focused on expanding the PlayStation community. We're excited about innovation like PlayLink, highly social, easy to play, localized, and fun. We've been thrilled with the success of That's You, with over 3 million downloads to date, and see more social and family-oriented games give us an opportunity to expand our reach and amplify our mission to be the best place to play. The past 20 years have seen trends come and trends go. We're still here, stronger than ever, and well-positioned for the future. The ecosystem of today will be more powerful, more engaging, and more immersive tomorrow. The maturity of the gaming industry is an incredible asset to a dynamic and exciting future for PlayStation. Ultimately, words mean little. Action is everything, and the proof is in the journey into the extraordinary worlds of new titles and new experiences that you're about to enjoy. I think you'll agree that the best place to play just keeps getting better. So let's take a look at some of the most sought-after exclusive content our industry has ever seen.
I've been watching you, Erica. I've been watching you for a very long time. They've been watching you too. They've been waiting very patiently, and now they've come for you. Just remember, don't break the seal. If you break the seal, I can't protect you.
then you are going to die.
Never give, you gotta take. Be the catapult to storm the gates. Cause the champion is never giving in. See you through till the end of days. Till the end of days.
The world has changed. It's been ripped apart by an unknown force.
Your chains will not hold me down. Break and fall to the ground. Can't tame these lions inside. The power is raining like thunder, ready for a fight. These lions inside. These lions inside.
Hello? Where am I?
Let the games begin. Your chains will not hold me down. Break and fall to the ground. Can't tame these lions inside. The power is raining like thunder, ready for a fight. These lions inside. Can't tame these lions inside.
Come to see what's biting, have you?
My name is Ryan Marks. I left London to be a soldier. But then they came for my family. Now I'm back, and everything just got a little bit complicated.
I'm a professional soldier, don't take bad man for a joker. I don't wanna do man over, but I'm raw getting closer and closer. Get shit resolved, I'm quick, no glamour and glitz, just glamour and grit. I'm on my ting, won't quit, I'm a real bad man, I get a bad man hit. Wow, rage, I'm coming for you, I get this resolved, I'm coming for you, show no regrets, I'm coming for you.
Start talking, you're fucking dead.
Wait, listen, it was all his idea. He wanted... Fuck me! Today a legend is born, ready for vengeance, ready for war, ready for anything, ready for more. My English gangster, I'm telling you, sure. I'm rage, I'm coming for you, get this resolved, I'm coming for you, show no regrets, I'm coming for you, cold-blooded revenge, I'm coming for you.
Ryan, get out of there!
As PlayStation VR marks its first year in the market, it's really moving to see how development teams are starting to see the raw power of this game-changing technology. We're witnessing the birth of new styles of gaming, storytelling, and visceral experiences. The future of PlayStation VR is extremely bright, and we look forward to unveiling more in the near future. One of the consistent factors in our success over the 4 generations of consoles has been the unwavering support of our partners. We were delighted to feature a massive amount of indie and VR content in the pre-show, and now it's time to showcase 6 games, all of which offer features and benefits unique to PlayStation from some of our most valued partners, all of whom we've been working with from the very beginning. Let's start with a new trailer from our friends at Ubisoft.
Folks,
folks, it's a beautiful sunny weekend in Hope County. How will you be spending your time outdoors? Eden's Gate is still causing trouble.
Imagine me and you and me. No matter how the dust the dies, it has to be. The only one for me is you, and you for me. So happy together. I can't see nobody but you. You're all my life. When you're with me, the skies will be blue. You're all my life. So happy together. How is this weather? So happy together.
Guardian, what I'm about to tell you stays between us. While we have been fighting, an ancient gate has opened on Mercury, and an army of past and future machines amasses. They intend to reshape the universe in their image. But there is one who has glimpsed this dark future. He was my mentor, Osiris, the most notorious Guardian in Vanguard history. Once, his dangerous ideas nearly destroyed us, and he was banished. Now he has returned, but will he be a powerful ally, or bring us death? You are the one thing they have not foreseen. Go to Mercury, and find Osiris. Time is not on our side.
Small turret gunner inbound. Target zone confirmed.
Buy the season pass and get the Carrington bonus map.
Everybody wants. Good time in the house, it'll be strong. Good man, good love, kick it from the night to
The Empire's time has come.
I think it's a beautiful world. Now, just like it is in 15, it feels quite similar to playing the fishing in 15, almost like, it sounds daft, but what the VR, would be for the fishing in 15. Different tackles, baits, different rods and lines, put them all together to create the right rods for catching different fish in different locations at different times.
Do they include a VR?
Yeah, I'm definitely considering getting an Oculus Rift, especially with VR starting to become
so anyone who plays
affordable.
Final Fantasy 15's online
And
Comrade
with that,
will recognize the character customization. It has incredible customization.
Well,
Best
not
RPG
only
there I've seen
affordable,
in a long
but
time.
at this point, I would hope they have worked out all the
Final
kinks
Fantasy
character customization
with the VR headsets.
You know this. The hair is beautiful.
I'm on a gate of whether or not if I should just if I would get the Oculus Rift or if I would just get the PlayStation VR.
He told me that the whole team is in it.
For myself, I was considering more than likely getting the Oculus Rift because some of the VR games I've seen on Steam were
like, hey, why don't you come fishing with us? You
looked
can come and camp
very
with
good,
us as well.
awesome.
Character customization here.
Awesome enough for me to consider getting one of these, and I know that you can use VR headset beyond Steam, so that's more of a reason for me to consider getting one of these.
You're at the camp with the guys. You're able to steal food.
Arizona Sunshine. That would be the game that would be one of the reasons why I would get a VR headset.
Like a massive wish fulfillment.
It really was. It gave me something that fanfiction.net has never been able to. It really put me into the world. But again, gets better. I'm still allowed to talk about Final Fantasy 15
Oh my.
for more.
There's more.
There is. Final Fantasy 15 Episode Ignis. We know it's on the way. He is best boy. Do not at me. It's not a discussion. But I'm really excited to be able to show a new trailer for that with some new details. And I can also reveal that the guest composer is Yasunori Matsuda of Chrono Trigger, which everyone knows. Final Fantasy and music go hand in hand. So I guess we should just get going. Please enjoy the Final Fantasy 15 Ignis trailer.
Listen well. A king cannot lead by standing still. A king pushes onward always.
Regis.
Accepting the consequences and never looking back.
You've been gone for 2 weeks, so the place is a mess. You do the housework, the washing, you cook the meals. That's Alice. You look after her. Homework, bath, all that crap. Got it?
Right away, Todd. Aren't you going to school today? I'm sure we used to be friends before I was reset. Maybe we can be friends again.
You shouldn't mess around with my stuff. It makes me nervous.
I'm sorry, Todd.
What are you looking at?
Maybe you think this is easy. Maybe you think it's my fault your fucking mother took off. Fucking whore walked out on me for a fucking account. Come back here.
You stay there. Don't you dare fucking move.
Alice! Daddy's very mad.
It's all over now. Daddy isn't angry anymore. You know Daddy loves you.
This is all your fault!
He's coming. He's gonna hurt me. Run! Get away, or he's gonna break you like last time.
You're coming with me. That's enough! I want you to leave Alice alone.
She's mine. I do what I want with her! Come back here!
Watch out, Kara!
That's a soul eater. If that kills us, that's it. No Valhalla, no hell, no afterlife, ever.
It does not attack.
Ah. Mom made them sound more dangerous than that.
Then do not drop your guard. Come.
Take that!
That doesn't sound like a soul eater. What do you think it is?
We shall see, boy.
Abro.
Hopefully, we've made one thing clear to you tonight. It's a great time to be a gamer. To close the show, let's have the first in-depth look at a much-anticipated and exclusive title. From everyone at PlayStation, thank you for your continued support. Good night.
They are nested with sin. Free them, that they may know my... Yara! Where is the other apostate? Clip her wings.
Yara. Demons are coming. Cut her down. She's one of them. Lev. Watch your backs.
That makes people see it stand up. Much more than the other in the block. No, no. Much more than the other in the block. No, no. God knows that I'm gunning for the top. You know, you know. God knows that I'm gunning bow, bow. I've been stepping, check my settings. Ain't no fretting. Where we heading? We just getting to that nitty, gritty. To that nitty, gritty. To that nitty, gritty. Where we heading? We just getting to that nitty, gritty.
Don't touch that dial. Don't go anywhere. We've got a lot more. We're going to get a behind-the-scenes look at a lot of those new games that were just announced today, so stay right there. Very quick, our panel of hosts here. What did you think?
God of War, Last of Us 2. Oh, my. Yo, every developer out there, AAA or indie, big hats off to you guys for providing that content for this showcase. That was insane. Thank you so very much. I'm done.
Well said. Holly, what are you thinking?
Despite being knocked over by the Detroit demo, I have to say Concrete Genie, mouth was open the whole time, utterly charmed. I just want to run around that world. I want to create. I want to bring things to life. That's my jam. That's 100.
Yeah, it was.
Rob, what
I've got to say, seeing Shadow of the Colossus gameplay running, it looked beautiful when it came out on PS2. It still looks beautiful now, but seeing that on PS4 just looks incredible. It's one of my favorite games of all time on any platform.
And well deserved. We've got Blue Point on that one, doing what is sure to be a world-class remaster. I'm going to have to go with Sucker Punch. I mean, we finally heard more about. Heard from Sucker Punch. What have they been up to? Now we know it's Ghost of Tsushima, and actually, we've got a bunch of in-depth developer interviews coming up right now. And let's start with hearing from Sucker Punch on Ghost of Tsushima.
So in 2014, we came out with Second Son, and about 6-7 months later, we came out with First Light. And then about a year from that, PS4 Pro was starting to come out. So we wanted to support that with Second Son and Fetch with First Light and all the cool laser bullets that come with that. But behind the scenes, what we were really working on was trying to figure out, how do we make a new game? Like, if we were going to depart from Infamous, like, it's got to be awesome, and what is the process to get there?
When we were looking at our next project, we wanted to stay open world because we're giving authority, power to the player. And we didn't want to walk away from that. We think it's integral to modern gaming that players are in charge.
And I think in true Sucker Punch fashion, we answered that with, hey, what does everybody at the studio think? And we had about, I believe it was 72 pitches, 72 ideas that kind of all formed up from various corners of the studio. And we try to coagulate that into like one, idea. Turns out these things are really, really hard.
We thought a lot about open world games and what makes some open world games just beautiful and great. And we kind of settled on wanting to have a clear fantasy as the player. Like, who are you? What are you going to be doing in the game? And then we came upon this game idea, which is awesomely simple, right? To hear about it is to want to play it. Who doesn't want to go to feudal Japan? Who doesn't want to be a samurai with a katana on their hip, right?
When you tell somebody that you get to play as a samurai, you don't really have to say anything else. You just say that fantasy, and everybody just builds a list of scenarios and narratives and gameplay scenes that you might get to play in that.
When we hit upon the Mongol invasion of Tsushima of 1274, it all clicked. Suddenly you knew who the heroes were, who the villains were, what the stakes were for the world, and you had a video game.
I'll ask you once again, Samurai. Do you surrender?
Ghost of Tsushima is a action stealth adventure game where you play a samurai in feudal Japan. And we're taking inspiration from the historical point in time where the Mongol army invaded the island of Tsushima.
All those locations are in-engine, they're in the world. That's the place that you're going to defend, a huge island filled with a lot of different places, towns, people. There's so much to learn, there's so much to see.
I think player choice in this game will mean something very different than other games we met in the past. We really want you to have that choice of, hey, that cool bamboo forest over there, I really want to check it out. I want to head in that direction, and I want to, see what it is. There's no waypoint. There's no thing that says, go here and look at this bamboo forest. We just hopefully are presenting something that's beautiful and exotic, that's different than the current place that you might be in, and that will come at a world choice, right? Like that's your adventure choice. Like it's like, where do I want to go?
In Infamous, we let you explore powers. In this game, we let you explore what it is to be a samurai inside of this enormous landscape of medieval Japan.
Here at the studio, sometimes we talk about the world as a character. And I think that even in Second Son, we pushed really hard to make the flavors of the world come alive. There's all these other elements that make you remember what it really felt like to be a tourist in this place. And we're going to do the same thing for this game, starting with some of the shots you see in the trailer. We've been working on this game for 3.5 years, and it's exciting to be at a spot where we're finally able to share with the world what we've been working on.
And now it's just up to us to actually deliver this fantasy, this wonderful fantasy about being a samurai in feudal Japan.
One of the boldest visions we saw was from a team called Pixel Opus. Let's delve deeper into the magical world of Concrete Genie.
The core idea for Concrete Genie actually came from a brainstorming process that we executed with the team, where one of our artists, Ashwin, created a piece of artwork that illustrated a character being bullied. And he overcame that by creating artwork within the wall.
So Concrete Genie is a game about a boy who can bring his paintings to life. So all of our gameplay and our unique features are about having fun with paint and using the DualShock 4 to create amazing landscapes, but also make creatures that you can bring to life. And they have all kinds of interesting quirks and personalities and abilities depending on how you paint them. The goal is to make anyone feel like they could be an artist. It's a big part of our player fantasy. It's effortless and it's full of joy, and a lot of our progression mechanics in the game are about learning these new techniques for you to play around with and have a lot of fun with.
We're really lucky in that we wanted to use the power and the tech of the PlayStation 4 to make the drawings come to life within the walls.
And we've developed an awful lot of technology as well as design mechanics to help anybody make something as effortlessly as possible in this game. I, for example, can't draw in real life, but in this game, I feel like I can. And so whatever the marks that you make with the DualShock as you gesture around in this world, we take that mark that you've made and we embellish it and we grow it into something really beautiful.
I'm hoping that people get that same feeling that they did when they were kids and sort of drew with a crayon for the first time or looked at the first illustration in a children's book. I really hope that people feel that when they're creating their own artwork.
We can animate and bring to life these incredible creatures who all have their own AI and their own distinct look, and they're all completely unique to each player.
It's not just about creating artwork. It really is quite a bit more. It's about the adventure also.
One of the things that we learned from making Entwined was that if we're going to invest our heart and soul in making a game that has a message to it, we wanted to make sure that with this game we put it into a structure that people were going to have a lot easier time getting into. And so we decided to invest in making a third-person action adventure because that's a platform that we love. We love those type of games. And then all of our amazing kind of painting gameplay sits on top of that base.
Entwine was a perfect first project for the team. What we learned from Entwine is that we wanted to continue to make games that have an emotional connection with the player. Games that have heart. And that's sort of one of our internal mandates, is that we make sure that we have games that resonate with people from an emotional point of view. That's been important for Concrete Genie.
There's something really just intuitively fantastic about making these marks in the world and seeing them come to life as well. I'd say the main thing we hope people will feel is joy.
I feel as an artist, this game is really a dream come true, because I think if you're a young person drawing in the back of the classroom or sketching, and we really give you the ability to have that same feeling that you do as a kid, but have your drawings come to life. I mean, that's is an absolute dream come true.
Among the many titles PlayStation announced at Paris Games Week was one that stood out for its innovative storytelling. It's called Erica. Let's take a closer look.
Games are typically empowerment fantasies about external conflict, and we're putting you in the mind of someone who is a living, breathing person. And so the decisions you're making aren't about high score. It's not about avoiding a game over. It's literally about the soul of this character and wanting to preserve that and wanting to do what's right for Erica. I think if you're not familiar with games, the easiest way to pitch this would be to say it was like an interactive film, but we think it kind of doesn't deserve to be like a subsidiary of like an existing sort of medium. It really feels like it's its own sort of thing between something like film and games. So we don't want to say too much right now about the story, but ultimately this is Erica's story and you are guiding it. And the heart of that story kickstarts with a traumatic childhood event, which haunts her until her adulthood. She's contacted by an old family friend who believes that in her mind somewhere is the key to the identity of a killer that's on the loose. But then what starts happening is that the killer comes into the picture as well and starts to contact Erica, and then you're stuck between these two perspectives, these two sides of the same coin, and not really knowing who is the one to trust. And the choices you make end up sort of creating a bias towards one or the other, and ultimately these pile up to give you this sort of this tough choice towards the climax of the game as to what you think the truth really is. Originally, we designed it as a very solo, intimate experience where it's just you and Erica and her world. When we started playtesting it, we realized that people would just sit on the sofa alongside their friends and they start getting into arguments about what's the right thing to do, and they can just watch it without having to understand what the game mechanics are at all because the cinematic experience is so seamless, it feels like something you just watch on TV. It really works as like a backseat gaming experience, which is something that's always been like an interesting subject to me.
I've been watching you, Erica.
Whether you're playing Erica or you're watching it almost passively and you're just in a sort of a social situation, it generally feels like watching a Hollywood film with the same pace and the same production value and that sort of flow that you're familiar with after like 100 years of filmmaking. What it allows you to do that a film doesn't is make you an active participant in that. And that means you can feel emotions that you haven't felt when you're watching a film, like guilt or shame or pride, these things, because you're involved with the decisions. So the way it's structured is very much like sort of a typical feature film. It's always moving forward, it's always seamless transitions, and you're pushing it forward with the words that you choose for Erica to speak. And she won't speak unless you choose for her to speak. It's not like you're only involved some of the time. You really are in control of this experience. You're interacting every like 15 to 20 seconds, which creates this like great gameplay flow. But we didn't want it to just be about dialogue. It's also about touching the world. And so by using your smartphone and PlayLink, you can do something like wiping condensation off of a window and peering through to the other side, or just wiping a tear from somebody's cheek. There's even like sensitivity in as well, so like the speed that you do these things. If you open a door fast, it makes too loud a creak, you'll see Erica react to the fact that maybe she's made too much noise and she should be quiet. It's about allowing your actions to be louder than words, essentially. So in film, they say don't say it, you've got to show it. So in games, it's not just showing it, but it's allowing you to express it with the choices you make through touch. The thing that excites me mostly is that I really hope Erica is a start of something new, because we had to throw out the rule book on how we develop games. What Erica's going to give us is the foundation for what could be endless amounts of stories for years to come.
One of Paris Games Week's biggest blockbusters is coming to PlayStation VR. It's called Blood and Truth. I had a chance to sit down with the team at London Studio to learn more.
One of the downsides of action movies is you're just watching somebody's experience on a small screen. What Blood and Truth lets you do is put on a VR headset and kind of immerse yourself in a story in a way that you could never have done before.
Imagine your favorite parts of your favorite action movies. You actually get to be in that. London Studio worked on VR Worlds, and one of the more popular parts of that was a game called The London Heist. It had action, it had drama, it had gunplay, but it was very much like a demo. What we wanted to do is take that, turn it into a full game. So everything that was in The London Heist, the object interactions, lighting cigars, shootouts, we want to take it to, well, beyond the next degree.
Dial it up to 11 and just really kind of amp up the action. London Heist was kind of like our love letter to the classic Cockney gangster movies. When we started the project of Blood and Truth, our inspiration was way more kind of classic action movies. In Hollywood terms, it's very much a big blockbuster.
The London Heist was static, apart from in the van. Now you can move and shoot, you can dual wield, you can reload as you're doing it, you can plant C4 while you're taking enemies out, you can crawl through vents. Pretty much anything you've seen in an action movie, we've either considered it or we're doing it.
When you're playing the game in VR, it's more immersive than any other first-person shooter. You get to feel like you're there, and when you're kind of hunkered down and you're under fire and there's grenades flying in, you feel the intensity and pressure in a way that no other game lets you do.
Someone throws a grenade at you, you just pick it up, throw it straight back. You really feel like the action hero.
And the moving adds to it in a way that the heist never did, which is it adds a level of tacticalness to the game, particularly with the strafing between points as well. So you're in the middle of a firefight and you can dodge around, you can actually start peeking around corners and stuff in a way that you just can't do in a normal game. Blood and Truth definitely immerses you in a way that no other action game has done before. It makes you really feel like an action hero. And I think part of the reason for that and reinforces that is the movements you're doing. In your head, you just feel like you're immersed in that game world. When you get your clip and you smash it into the gun, that it just works and it feels right.
We've got like fancy reloads you can do, like gun tricks. I mean, there's people in the studio who can throw clips in the air and catch them. So as you get better at the game, it kind of grows with you.
PSVR has just celebrated its first birthday. We've seen some amazing games come out in that first year. I think for us, Blood and Truth shows the potential of what could be coming next. I think these bigger, more blockbuster titles that really push the boundaries of what it is to kind of be in VR.
It's like a compendium of all the best bits of all the action films and games that we love to play, and we've just put them all together.
We've only shown one location. We've got a load more levels that kind of showcase the glamour and grit of modern-day London. We're just scratching the surface over kind of what we've got and what we're working on behind the scenes, and there's definitely more to come in the future.
A little earlier, we got a new look at The Last of Us Part 2. Naughty Dog's not sharing much for now, but I was able to pry a few more details out of creative director Neil Druckmann. Let's take a look.
It's been almost a year since we announced Last of Us Part 2. It's been hard being quiet for so long, but in the meantime, we've put out a little game called Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. With that finally out there and people playing it and enjoying it, the entire studio is now on The Last of Us Part 2. We're in full production. Every game leverages all of what we learned and all the technology we've built on the previous titles. So this is definitely using all the tech, all the engine improvements we made of Uncharted 4, and now we've had several years to build whole new tech to increase the fidelity even further of our game. So this is the next evolution of our Naughty Dog engine as far as lighting, as far as our character pipeline, how we do muscle deformation, rain effects, even like our facial performance is this whole new rig and whole new pipeline so we can get an even truer performance to what we're capturing on stage. And now we want to give the fans a little something more, lifting the curtain a little bit on the story for The Last of Us Part 2.
Yara! Where is the other apostate? Clip her wings.
The Last of Us, at its heart, is about Joel and Ellie and their journey, but it's also an ensemble piece with all these other characters fitting into that theme, and this time we wanted to focus on some of the other really important characters. Last year at the PlayStation Experience, we talked about the theme of hate and how much of this story revolves around that. This, you could see in a lot of ways, speaks to that. So instead of giving you an adjacent puzzle piece about Ellie and Joel's journey, we want to go somewhere else and give you something else and see how people make the connections. But as far as who these characters are, what their conflict is, where this takes place, when this takes place, we're going to leave it up to the fans for now.